It's a great day here at Mountain Creek Ranch. I'm Terry Tucker, and this is the Tales of Mountain Creek Ranch. So you've seen on Tales of Mountain Creek Ranch previously the concept of you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. You're not thirsty, are you? But sometimes what we do on Tales is we take a little bit deeper dive and we give you a little bit more. And that's what this is, a little bit deeper dive on you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. So when we think about leadership, what are we really trying to do as leaders of our own cultures? We're really trying to increase engagement. We are learning now how important engagement is, how absolutely critical it is to have team members that want to go on those rides, that want to do that work, and that take ownership of that. So let's first look at what is the definition of engagement. Engagement isn't just a busy person. Engagement in our teams is truly the amount of physical and emotional buy-in that each employee has to the positive outcome, to the goal that we've established. That's what engagement means. And so we need to look at what does the leader do to create that kind of engagement so we can have cultures of people drinking the water and loving every minute of it. So Goober, look what's happening over here behind us.
That is so perfect.
They're drinking.
Yes. We finally figured out a way to make them drink.
We did. So we're still hanging on that statement, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And perfect example, they're drinking when they're ready to drink. But I know our ranch manager, Goober Bontrager, well enough to know that you do a lot of things around here that help keep those horses healthy and happy and engaged.
Yes.
So one of the questions I have, Goober, was something that you mentioned to me a while back when you said, sometimes we get horses when they see the saddle that are super excited and they go, hey, I love Goober and I want to go ride and I'm glad you picked me. And then you have those horses that want to run to the back corner and say, no way, I don't want to work, I want to just hang out here and kind of be a little lazy horse. What do you do with a horse like that, that doesn't want to hitch, that doesn't want to saddle up, that doesn't want to play well with others? What do you do as ranch manager?
So you have to find a different way of connecting with your horse.
Okay.
You got to learn to know your horse a little bit better.
Okay.
And you got to treat him different than you do the other horses, because his personality is not the same. So you got to learn how to connect with this horse that has that different personality.
And maybe show him that he can trust you.
Yes, you have.
And connect with him where he's at, instead of saying, my way or the highway, dude, you got to come over here, is I'm going to come to you at first. Okay, so at first I'm going to kind of change my style to meet your style and to try and help get you engaged. And then is there ever a point where he just doesn't want to play? Like, are there any bad horses?
Most horses are going to be where they're going to come around to whichever way you treat them.
Good. Okay,
Yes.
so it's the environment.
It's the environment.
So Goober, what I'm hearing you say and what I teach in my leadership coaching all the time is I can't change you, I can only change me. But maybe by changing me, I can create an environment that causes you to change in. So what you're doing with horses is you're changing the environment in which they are living, and hopefully with your great coaching, they're making the right choices.
Yes.
To engage.
Yes.
And to join the team and to take the bit and to take the saddle and to hitch up and all that stuff. But I've been around long enough, Goober, to say that once in a while, in business at least, I might do all the environmental shifting I can do and somebody is still not going to make the choices congruent with our culture and congruent with our expectations and our goals. Is that ever true on the ranch?
Yes, for horses, there are some horses to fit our program just does not do exactly what we want them to do. They're good, but they still are just not what we want, so we have to move them.
They just need to leave the ranch,
Yes.
right? And I do know that you have customers here at the ranch. Like, how many miles do you think of trails do we have around here? Just take a wild guess of horseback riding trails.
If I had a wild guess, I would say like 20 miles.
20 miles of just pure, natural, open horse trails.
Yes.
So people pay to come and ride horses at Mountain Creek Ranch.
Yes.
So your horses have to be part of that experience and that culture and congruent with the goals and the safety standards and all the expectations you have for them. So they just can't be, oh, I just want to be like this. They have to fit that program.
Yes, they have to fit our program, mainly for our safety, for our customer, their safety, and all of that, so they can handle the miles and people enjoy the ride and do all of that.
So as I wrap it up here with Goober Bontrager, I want to make a key point. You cannot make a horse drink. You can lead him to water all day long and you can't make him drink. But you can create an environment in which he is safe and needed and wanted and protected and nurtured so that he makes the right choices to drink when it's time to drink.
That's right.
All right, thank you, Goober. I'm going to break down a little bit more about how in this bit we can increase engagement on our teams. We've been exploring that statement in this bit. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. And we have discovered that that's a true statement. But there's another statement that goes along with that we've also discovered today, and that is environment equals engagement. So if I want more engagement, then as a leader, I'm really controlling and creating, nurturing, and fostering that environment that produces engagement. So why do I want to go to all this work? Why do I want a lot of engagement on my team? Well, all the research in the world shows that it lowers turnover, it increases productivity, it increases innovation. People have more ideas and they share more ideas. In other words, high engagement saves money and makes money. That's why we want it. At the end of the day, that's the big, why do I want engagement? But in all of what I just said, I think the most important word of all is why. Why? Do you know why your employees work for you? Do you know why they work with your company? If you don't, or heaven forbid the answer is the paycheck, we've got some work to do. We need to understand what their why is. Because if we know what their why is, and we know what our why is, we can marry those two together and the environment actually grows itself. So let's look at whys for a minute. I drive a Jeep. Why do I drive a Jeep? I drive a Jeep because it gets me wherever I want to go. It gets me through rough terrain, and when I'm driving it, and this is a little corny, I feel empowered. I don't feel victimized to obstacles. I feel adventurous. When you really sit with Jeep people and you understand the Jeep brand, you understand that they don't consider themselves in the automotive industry. They consider themselves to be in the adventure industry. Their why is to create adventure. One of my clients I've had for so many years is Meyer Jabara Hotels. They don't consider themselves to be in the hospitality industry. They're in the industry of honoring and hosting memorable moments that celebrate life. So I can go out and I can sell that why to people, to employees, and say, this is where you need to work. Because if your why can match this why, we've got a great environment for you to make the choice to engage. Knowing the why of your employees, why they're there, what is intrinsically motivating them to stay, is so incredibly critical. Whenever somebody quits our business, we always do, our HR department does, what we call an exit interview. I'm a huge fan of doing stay interviews. The exit interview's too late. They're already gone. In a stay interview, I can sit down with someone and say, why do you stay? Instead of why did you leave? Stay interviews are powerful tools in cultures today. So knowing your employees' why is the very first step. Why they get up in the morning, why they come to work, why they work hard, why they choose you to work with. Especially in this economy when they can choose all kinds of places to work. Why are they choosing you? So understanding that why is the first step, and really laying down your own judgment and your why to truly altruistically learn their why. And when you can do that and understand it, then you can talk to them about their why. And that automatically helps the environment be more fertile for engagement, because we're talking about what is intrinsically motivating them, and that's critical. The second thing that we do to really create these environments of engagement is what I call a vision cast. And I thoroughly and completely believe in this technique. So our minds need to go first before our feet and our hands go. So let our minds go to a place on the horizon that we want to get to as a team. And then we begin to plan, how are we going to get there? It's not having a vision statement. It's actually casting a vision that I can see and I can feel. I can even allow myself to hear. So here's the question. The question that we can ask when creating a vision cast meeting with our teams is, when we achieve blank, how is it going to feel? What are you going to do that day when we achieve that? What do you want to have happen that day? How would you tell your significant others in your life about that day? Let's just live in that day for a minute. I first learned this concept when I was writing the book Iron Wolf, when I was actually watching this through my son's eyes as he was entering the game of football in high school. We went to the parent meeting, and the coach said, I've already booked rooms in St. Louis in November. And then he just let that little sentence trail out there and lay there. And I thought for a minute, what did that mean? Well, I saw the boys that were at the tables around us, and they started high-fiving each other, and they started thumbs up, and they were so excited. And I turned to my husband, and he was smiling ear to ear. And I said, what's that mean? He said, that's the state championship in St. Louis in November. See, the coach vision casted that with the players before the parent meeting. And he just had to drop that little sentence and say, hey parents, by the way, I've already booked hotel rooms in November in St. Louis. In those days, state championship was played there. The boys knew what it meant. They had been allowed to mentally go to that day when they won the state championship before their bodies ever went there. It's called vision casting. Now here's the secret to vision casting. It's not your vision. It's your goals and it's your finish line. You lay it out there. That's your parameters as the leader. But it's their vision, because they have to see themselves in it. That bears repeating. When you vision cast, they have to see themselves in the vision, or guess what doesn't happen? Engagement. I can't get excited about marching to your vision. I can only get excited about marching to mine. Ours. And here, this is important. When that vision and my why connect, there's nothing in the world that's going to stop my engagement. When my why and our vision marry, here we go. And guess what? The engaged employee says, I will follow you anywhere. That's the ultimate compliment for a leader. So you can't lead a horse to water and make him drink. But what you sure can do is create an environment where they make the right choice to drink when it's necessary to drink. Make good choices. That's the environment I want to create as a leader. Thank you so much for joining me for BIT. I'll see you next week on the other side of the mountain.